Three, two, one.
Hello, we're back trying to make a 1 point perspective room using the paint program, and we have already drawn in the basic room using the horizon line, the vanishing point here, and all lines being horizontal, vertical, or going to the vanishing point. So within this basic room, I'm going to show you how to draw a few pieces of blocky furniture so you can just get started drawing something pretty simple just to get the idea of how to do this. So first of all, we're going to draw a dresser over here. I'm going to use this rectangle shape to start. I want to make sure that the dresser is sitting on the floor. So to do that and create that illusion, I'm going to start right over here, more towards the right. You'll notice that my box started right here where the floor meets the wall. You really have to use your imagination when you're drawing with 1 point perspective so that you can try to understand how real furniture would fit inside of the space. So this is going to represent the side of the dresser that's going to go on this wall. Then I'm going to use my vanishing point and the line tool to make these lines go back to the vanishing point here. And of course, I'm not going to draw one through here because, well, number one, there's already one drawn through there. And number two, this makes the box look very see-through. So while you're doing this, you need to make sure that the box stops before you get to this area here where the floor meets the wall in the back, because if you extended it and you made it go up here, it's going to look like it's floating. You don't want that to happen. So I'm going to stop mine about here, and I'm just going to use a vertical line that goes straight up just for that one side. You can see there's one side, and then I'm going to go off of it. Now this is getting really small, so I'm going to use my magnifying glass tool, and I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to make sure that I've got that as well, as good as I can, and draw that horizontal line that goes across the top. Sometimes it's really tempting to not use your shift key, and you really want to maybe not use it because, it's too much trouble. Please don't. It really makes a huge difference in your drawing as to whether or not everything is straight. So remember, it has to be horizontal, vertical, or go to the vanishing point. So you need to make sure that all of those are in place while you're doing this drawing so that it will turn out looking right. So something that I'm noticing as I'm creating this box is that I have over here some holes. This can create some problems for me later. I don't really have to worry about them right now at this point because I'm not coloring right now, but here I'm going to reduce the size of my eraser so I can get this in here. But you can see here I have two pretty large holes right there and right there. So what I can do with that is now since I have them there, I can fill those up, making sure that they're actually in line with everything else so that I don't have to deal with that later. To go back to 100%, you just go to View, 100%. You could also use the little percentages down here to do that. So this dresser, I can then go back to Home here, and I can add lines going back to the vanishing point. Now, for these lines going back to the vanishing point, you do not hit your shift key. Okay, super important. Don't hit your shift key for those. These just go to the vanishing point. The only time you hit your shift key is when you are drawing a vertical or horizontal line. And then after that, I can use my select tool and get in there and get rid of all these lines. Remember, that's the other way you can erase. You can use the select tool and then hit the delete key. Normally, while I'm creating these rooms, I don't really worry about erasing perfectly so much while I'm doing it. I worry about the perfect erasers stuff after I have everything else done. Okay, so that is a very basic dresser. And when you look at it, you can see that it looks like it's sitting on the floor. It makes sense in the room. It's a good size here. Pretty good size dresser. I'm going to create a very easy bed for you now too. I'm going to use the same principle. So you're going to think about a bed. A bed's not going to be too terribly high. You don't want it to be so high that you'd have to jump up on it and get to it, but you don't want it to be so small that it would look like a dog's bed. You want it to look like a people bed. So, unless you are drawing a dog bed, which you could do if you wanted to. If you were making a room for a dog, that would be all right. Just got to do everything with purpose, and then it's all okay, right? So I'm going to make those lines go back here to the vanishing point. Again, I need to stop this bed at or before it gets to the wall, because if I did it up here, it's going to look not right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this bed actually look like it's sitting in the corner. So right here at this corner where these two meet, I am going to go across here, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the magic of perspective. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see it a little bit better. So if I did my horizontal line right where this wall and this floor, right where these two walls meet, and then I make my line go across here, if I go straight down, look at what happens. That ends up right there where the floor and the wall meet there. That is part of the magic of perspective. If you do this right, everything will kind of end up being in a place where it should be. So I'm going to use my big old eraser here, and I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to make this not see-through anymore, because you don't want your beds and all your furniture to look like it is see-through. You want it to be pretty solid. So while I'm doing this, I can choose where I want my headboard to be. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here erasing so that I can get to the other parts. You can always do that cleanup later, and I'll go through that with the coloring part. I think I'm going to put my headboard back here. And if I put my headboard on this back wall, the headboard is just going to be a rectangle. Okay, so if I wanted it to be there, the headboard's just going to be a rectangle. I'm going to erase this little part right here, just in case, just so you can see that a little bit better. So I could create that, and that could be a rectangle. Oh, it's going to erase anyway. If I were to put it over here on the side wall, I would need for this line to go up. Remember hitting my shift key, and then go to the vanishing point, and then go straight back up again. So it all depends on where things are. Check out the windows and the doors tutorial, and that will help you with that part of it. Another thing that I get asked all the time to create is a TV. So to create a TV, even a flat screen TV, it's going to have a little bit of width. So I'm going to use my rectangle tool here. This is just going to be the side of the TV. It's got that little bit of width to it. So there's the side of the TV. And then just from the top and the bottom, I'm going to go to the vanishing point. Technically, I don't know what happened right there. Must have skipped a little bit. I'll try that again. So technically, I should draw another line from here to the vanishing point. That's probably just going to give it a little bit of double thickness down at the bottom. Okay, so then I'm going to draw a line right there. And that is the beginnings of a TV. So what I could also do if I wanted to is I can make that TV have a frame. So you could take this, and instead of it being a TV, it could be a painting. Anything like that would be fine. But really, the big thing that you want to watch while you're creating this stuff with perspective is you want it to look like it's sitting on the floor or it's properly on the wall, and that it is a good size for the area that you're working in. You don't want it to look too small or too large. And that's something that you just kind of have to get the feel for. I always tell my students that this is something that you should practice. So this is just 3 very basic pieces of furniture that you can draw with perspective. I will go over how to draw couches and other things in the next tutorial. Thank you.